So today, one of the things we're going to do is change some lights. Over the last week, we've had 5 of these lights over here on this side of the shop go out and quit working. So we bought some of these good UFO high bay lights that are 250 watts we're going to put in here. See how bright we can make it. Here's our ladder. Well, we got 2 lights up over there. We have to use the tractor to reach the rest of them. He's putting 2 up over here in this northeast corner. And then the only one we'll have left to change is, well, these 2, but we can't reach them because I got too much junk in the way. It's 33 degrees outside today, so it's nice and warm. So we got 6 of the new lights in. Got 2 more to go, but we can't reach that over there. And that one's still halfway working. Got the next project in here, this disc, little 8-foot disc that we use to go between the drive rows. Changing the bearing on it, putting a new blade on it that was damaged. Not having a lot of luck getting the old bearing off, so he's using a little incentive to try to get it off over there. And I'm working on this. This thing that holds the back gangs on is broken, so I'm trying to get it back in place and get a new pin in there. Getting ready to start changing the oil on a couple tractors, getting them ready for spring. First time that tractor's been started, since late October. You can tell the ground's getting soft. All the snow's melting and thawing out. So we're gonna let this thing run a little bit, change the oil in her, and she'll be ready to go for spring. Well, we got the oil on here changed, just topping her off. We always put some of this Lucas oil additive in here. This is just regular oil though. I refilled this jug just to try to get all the additive out. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but she is just below the full mark. We've had this battery box cover on this tractor off for a while. I'm gonna put it back on, but the bolt holes are pretty much gone. So we're going to drill them out and just put through bolts on it. Maybe even put a pin in there. Well, that job ended up being a little more difficult. It was kind of hard to get them bolts to go through while running the wires to this light up there and the wire that goes into the bell monitor. With 2 hands, it was a little bit difficult, but got it. Got the only other thing left to do is we got a side panel inside there. We got to put back on and check the oil in the hub on the other side of the tractor. Good afternoon, guys. We're back at it after we've been at the farm show on Friday. We got something kind of interesting sitting out here. Got the plastic layer hooked up, pulled in front of the shop. Now this tractor won't pull it in the field. It don't have the power or the weight. It takes about 125 horse to pull this thing. But we've got a couple things we're going to do to it. Get everything greased up, check all the tires, all the bearings. And then we have to replace this deflector over here on this side. It broke last year. And we did a little engineering in the field whenever we had this roller brake. And it's just put on with vice grips on both sides. So we're going to take that off and try to spot weld a couple washers on there to hold it in place, because the washers or the roller's not quite as big as what it needs to be. Okay, the first thing we did here was this bolt was broke off. It holds this here in place, keeps this thing from turning. So went and got another bolt the same size, welded a makeshift handle out of some scrap metal on there. Might have to cut it off a little bit long. But welded that on there, and that's the first piece done. One of the things I'm doing as I go around here is I'm checking to make sure all these nuts turn and we can adjust everything as needed. This one here is pretty much shot, so we're gonna see if we can get it off there, and if not, we're gonna, I guess, grind that off and weld a new one on. And after getting that one out there, which came off easier than I expected with that pipe wrench, but I think that this nut needs replaced. It's breaking off there. I think that's what our problem is here, because I can't get this to thread in. Very good. It gets there, and it's just solid, and the threads are pretty clean. Got that all ground off. Got that bolt in there so it stays where I know that it's going to fit through the hole. Just got to weld it. Probably going to wait till tomorrow. It's getting kind of late in the day. It's the next day. It went from 70 degrees to 36 degrees and windy. Had to build up a windbreak right here. Got everything on the back end welded back on. I replaced that nut. It was kind of hard to weld too. So I think the only thing we got left to do to this thing, besides grease it, is I need to fix that shovel holder I put on there. There's a factory one on that side, but I put one over here, and it's junk. I didn't do a very good job. Last minute type of thing. So we're gonna weld that solid and make it work a little bit better. Forgot to record when I was starting, but figured out where I wanted the shovel holder at. Cleaned up the area, got all the rust and paint off, and started welding. It's turned up too much. We're gonna turn it down a little bit. Kind of burnt through it. Kind of hard to see out here in the sun. So let's see how this works out. I did get it tacked a little bit right there before I burnt through it. And we're still burning through. We can probably make that work though. Possibly the worst welding we've ever done, but it's gonna hold. That metal is just too thin and rusty. Even where I cleaned it up at, it's too thin, and we can't get a good weld without burning through it. Got the plastic layer unhooked. Now we're hooking up to the #1 setter. Gonna take it in, just a couple little small things to do to it. Get it going through the shop over the next few days. Got it in the shop. The only thing we really got to do on this thing is make sure there's no leaks, filled up with water. And last year, if you remember right, one of the guys left it hooked up whenever he was filling and broke this off. So we got to change this to this fitting here and mount it on the side over there. Should be easy, but whenever you're dealing with old pipes like this, it never is. Go through the toolbox, try to figure out what some of this stuff is that's in here. I actually have no idea what that is. Yeah, just grease the bearings. Like I said, check for leaks. Then this one will be good, and we'll pull the other one in. Another thing that I noticed, it looks like we got a little bit of water down there on the bottom of the fuel pan. So we might try draining some of that and see what that looks like. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, that sure is some dark fuel. Well, this old tractor here, we actually burn used engine oil in it just to get rid of it. this diesel, it'll work like that if you mix it with a little bit of gas or a little bit of diesel. Runs great. We drained them like we talked about. Got what little bit of water was in there out. I don't even know if I'd ever done that before, so it's hard telling how long that water was in there. Them filters are like 2019, I think. Because I remember that's whenever I did the paint job on here, 2019. But today, we're getting ready to replace this valve because it's got that piece broken off in there. Before I replace the valve, I'm gonna see if I can get that old piece out of there and just sneak a new piece in. I think that'll be a little bit easier. So after a couple minutes of trying and probably ruining that ball valve, I can't get that out of there. So we're just gonna change the whole thing. I think them valves are a little slightly different size anyways. So we're just gonna change the whole valve out. Hopefully this will work. Couldn't get that out, so we're changing it all. The barbed end that I had didn't fit in the hose. It was a different size than I thought it was, just slightly. So had to go get another barbed end, an adapter, and I think this will all work now. Everything seems to be fitting together. No matter what on the project, it seems like you always got to run into town to get something. And while I'm thinking about it, I probably better put my hose clamp on there. Well, it just took a couple minutes. We got that whole entire valve assembly all put on there. Believe it or not, this is new. It just sat on this setter on the back all summer because I was planning on changing it. But we got her up there now. Just got to do a little bit of adjusting on the mounts. These mounts here aren't going to quite work with this. They don't fit on there like the old one did. It looks a little bit crude because I didn't have enough bolts that were long enough. But we got that on there. Works pretty good. Ready to hook up to that now and fill her up with water. But it's like 26 degrees and 60-mile-an-hour winds outside, so we're not going to do that today. Next project we're going to do is try to finish the mounting bracket that I got for this tractor to mount that sprayer monitor in. The bracket that I ordered online does not fit like I thought it would. So I fabricated my own bracket right here. We're going to put a couple coats of paint on that and let it dry and look real good. Hey guys, got a little bit of a surprise for you here. We're getting close to planting season. We're all excited. Everybody's happy. I'll show you something. All of our plastic for the year has come in. Got this room full all the way down through there. What is this? Like 12 pallets of plastic. And there's a lot of plastic on a roll, as you can tell. 7,500 feet on a roll. I think it's, 32 rolls on a thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 rolls on a thing. And we got a little bit back at the shop yet. So there's actually about another pallet and a half more than what this is. But plastics in. We moved a lot of the chemical back there out of the way. We got a load of chemical coming in today. William, are you ready to plant watermelon?
Yeah.
Yeah? You excited? Got my helper here today, but just waiting on a load of chemical to show up. We'll get that unloaded, and we'll be ready to start planting here in about 6 weeks. All right, I didn't video unloading it, but this room's getting pretty full. Got all of our chemical, got some fungicides, some insecticides, some Enlist, more fungicides, Liberty. We got everything. We even got a few bags of corn right there that got brought over here. Then we'll go to my shop here in a little bit. Got some bags of our Setter water out here. Not Setter water, but the Setter water additive. And we're getting ready to start getting that sprayer ready to go and get this tender trailer hooked up and ready to go for the year. It's also loaded with totes ready to go. 2,4-D Roundup Volunteer and chlorophynyl on there.